Today is Tuesday, February 3rd, and we are interviewing Enosh, asking him some questions about the project we're working on with the Putti village.
So, I guess let's start with, could you just talk about how you became one of the community leaders in Putti, and what was your background, and how did you become the rabbi there?
Okay, thank you very much. The first thing that I would like to tell you is that I grew up from a Jewish family whereby all my parents were Jewish, and even including my grand, you see. So even that actually groomed me to be a Jew. And then from there, I was just rotating within just Jewish families. So meaning that the people around, all the neighbors were Jewish. And then also, after even my parents had died, I went and I grew up from my uncle's place, which uncle was Jewish, you see. And then even from there, again, time came that I was supposed to go to school for education, like from level 4 upwards. So that is the time when even I had lost my parents, and I was forced even to come to Uri's home. And Uri's home, they are Jewish. So growing up, I was actually creating more friendship with my fellow youth. And so it happened the time that when there was a kibbutz in the community, and when it had collapsed, me and my fellow youth realized that there is a need actually for us to go around to mobilize our fellow youth to ensure that again we bring Judaism to its normal standard. And then we had to begin to form a group called AYA, the Abaida Youth Association. And then that group actually acted as a treasurer, whereby whenever we could get something like food, it could be used, it could help the youth to ensure that they come and make bricks, and the bricks would again construct things like synagogues or something like youth accommodation houses. Then from there, the next year the next term, I was elected to be a youth leader. And when I was elected to be a youth leader, I focused mainly on the study of Hebrew, Judaica, and Jewish history, mainly in Uganda and even abroad, like in Israel. And so many of the elders in our community and the youth entrusted me, because at least I was very superb in the Hebrew learning and I was a teacher. So they entrusted me to lead services. That was 1975. Not 1975, but 1995. So that's when I began to be. A chazan, to say, leading the services in the synagogue. Then ever since then, I was engaged in the duties of like leadership, so on, being entrusted by the elders of the community, and that is how I've been growing up like a Jewish community leader and maybe a spiritual leader.
So you really learned from the community itself.
Yeah, we've been just learning within the community, not going anywhere. But like for myself, during the time when we had formed up the kibbutz, and during the time when I was in the office as a treasurer, soliciting some funds and what have you, the youth suggested that one of us should be going to the Nairobi Hebrew synagogue to at least ensure that we go there and copy the web services, and maybe if we can get some books like that. So when it reached the time that we got some money enough for one person to go, and the youth suggested that I should go. So I went, the first time I went, I met Rabbi Jonathan, who was of my age mate, and I actually was married, but I was not yet married by that time. That was 1976, you see. So when I met Rabbi Jonathan, he taught me some Hebrew, and even he could invite me for Sunday Hebrew lessons, so I could go, then at least attain a 2 hours Hebrew lesson. So that is how I improved in my Hebrew. And even when I was coming back, because the rabbi was leaving for Israel, he gave me even some money which he helped me for my fare, like which actually became like a fare back home this way. And they even gave me some Hebrew junior books, you see, teaching books. So when I came back, I used those books, those very books again to teach my fellow youth, the young ones and those ones who didn't know anything about Hebrew. And then even the next year, the youth continued to solicit money to ensure that I go. That it was 1997, whereby I went and then I spent my Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Scott, and then Simchat Torah, see, from Nairobi. And then I found a rabbi called Rabbi Zohar. And then he also welcomed me to the Nairobi synagogue. So I would go and attend Kabbalat Shabbat, and then get back where I was staying. And then also I would again go in the morning. Then after services, we could have just something like a study with the rabbi. Then even he could give me some food and what have you. So him and the family, because he had a wife and he